Last Monday through Friday, we left more than 4,400 people behind at bus and trolley stops due to crowded conditions caused by running less service. The number of bus trips running late was up more than 26% compared to normal conditions. Our riders deserve better, and they deserve stability. If our request is approved, we'll request approval of our board to restore full service on Sunday, September 14th. The 21.5% system-wide fare increase will be reinstated on September 14th regardless. The planned service cuts were part of a comprehensive budget package, along with fare increases, workforce reductions, and a series of other cost-cutting measures to close the budget gap. With this request to use up to $394 million of capital assistance funding to support operations, SEPTA would be able to restore service as part of a plan to avoid cuts and planned service reductions for the next 2 years. This would also allow us to move forward with the implementation of our new bus network and finally prepare for the major events coming to Philadelphia in 2026. But we know that transferring capital funds to operating with no commitment to replace them is not a sustainable long-term solution to SEPTA's current budget crisis. These are future capital dollars, which means they will not be available to us to support critical infrastructure rehabilitation and vehicle replacements in the future when they're needed. We are thankful to the governor and the entire Shapiro administration for staying at the table and fighting for SEPTA's riders and employees. We're also grateful for our legislative delegation and all of our advocates for their tireless efforts to rally for transit funding. We're urging all parties to continue to work towards an agreement on a transit funding plan that preserves this service for our customers and the region, the service they deserve, well into the future. I'll take questions.
Is there anything that can happen where you don't have the fare hikes? Is there money that could come in from the state, or is there any way you can see where you can go forward without doing fare increases?
I mean, at this point, unless there's a funding solution that is adequate to offset that revenue increase, no.
Is there a number? Do you know? Have you guys know?
It's the fare increase nets us roughly $31 million a year.
Do you expect PennDOT to sign off on this? What's the timetable? When would you expect to hear from them?
I mean, we're optimistic they'll sign off on it. They have told us they will give us an answer quickly, so I'm hopeful that we can get something early next week.
How does this change your conversations and your lobbying with lawmakers in Harrisburg at this point?
I mean, I don't know that it certainly allows them for more time to figure this out. I'm not sure that things are continuing to progress at the rate that we were hopeful that would. But it doesn't change the fact that this is not a solution. This is a Band-Aid. This will get us through a couple years, but at the expense of future capital programming. So we still need a solution. We need something long-term. We need legislators to continue this discussion. We want to be part of it. We want to show all the things that we've shown up until now, that we can be safer, we can be cleaner, we can be more reliable. We are good stewards to taxpayer dollars. All the things that we've been asked to be, we can be, and we have been, and we want to improve. We want to show the worth and the value that SEPTA provides to the region. I think that that's where our conversations will continue.
Viewers, riders might say, why now? Why are you doing this now? And where exactly? There's so many funds. It's, for the everyday person, it's a little
Right.
hard to track. Where exactly does the $394 million come from?
So this comes from capital dollars that are allotted to SEPTA each year. We get approximately $400 million in capital dollars allotted to us each year. This is our allotment of capital dollars that we will receive in the coming year. So,
This is not the transportation.
well, the Public Transit Trust Fund provides funding for all of transit throughout the Commonwealth. $400 million is our allotment of capital programming
From
it's
that.
from that fund, yes.
Why not do this in the beginning? People would say at the very beginning, why not have this as an option and a route so people don't have to go through the craziness that's been the past 2 weeks?
Well, I think until now, I mean, we were optimistic we would get a funding plan done. I know that, certainly state budgets being late is not a new phenomenon. But we weren't able to get it done last year. You know, we knew it would be tough this year, but it's clear now that it's a stalemate. And look, we just want to provide the best service we can for our customers, and we think this is the best decision that we can make at this moment.
Is this action a direct result of the judge's order yesterday?
No, this is not a direct result of that, although certainly that showed us that there's problems, and we want to solve these problems. But we knew going into this week, as we were analyzing the data from last week, that the service is just not. It's not what customers need to have, and it is really upset how people are moving around the region.
Scott, I guess, it's very similar to what Senate Republicans had proposed before the cuts went into effect, and you kind of came out against that plan, but here we are, this is very similar. Why not take that back then to avoid those?
Well, if you recall, there were other aspects of the Senate plan that included money for roads and bridges. So this does not obviously have any effect on that. This is solely SEPTA's capital funding. It's at this moment, it only affects us.
Are you confident this won't happen again in another 2 years or so? Right back. Are you confident that this can be sustainable?
I am. Well, this is not sustainable. What we're doing here today is not sustainable. I guess the confidence that I have at this moment is we have 2 more years now to keep pushing the ball forward. You know,
Before though, right? But you had all this time
yeah,
up to now. You
yeah.
had all that time.
It's not going to be easy. Make no mistake about it. It's not going to be easy. And 2 years from now, we will be well, hopefully not from today, but 2 years from now, we'll be having this same conversation. You know, I hope that we've progressed far enough along that at that time, maybe we get something done before the budget deadline in June.
Both you and the CFO testified at length in court that unlike the flex last year, there is no similar solution. There is no fund to tap on. And then suddenly today, there is a fund to tap, right? So I understand it comes from somewhere else. That came from the highway assistance.
Mhm.
Again, I know it's the same question, but
Well,
this never came up?
it's not that this never came up. We've talked all along about the risk of moving money from capital to operating. Make no mistake about it, there's risk here, tremendous risk to SEPTA, because we now have to go back and take a look at our capital budget, a budget that we've already deferred or descoped 44 projects from due to inadequate capital funding. So we had to descope what was a $17 billion 12-year program to now a $14 billion program. Now we have to go back yet again and look for $400 million more that we can defer on projects that, quite frankly, I mean, that's not going to help our $10 billion state of good repair backlog. So it's not that we had this money sitting aside waiting to use it. This money was allocated to our program. Now we have to deprogram it.
You also appealed today the 4 injunctions issued by the judge or filed notice of appeal. If Commonwealth Court invalidates these orders, these injunctions, are you going to continue with this plan and reverse the cuts on the 14th?
We are going, if the appeal process as it plays out, we'll certainly monitor that, but the plan right now is to utilize this funding to reinstitute service as quickly as possible. We'll allow the court process to play out the appeal as it goes.
And in the meanwhile, the judge said that you need to reverse the cuts immediately in the yesterday order. Obviously, you're planning on the 14th. That's not part of the order. Are you confident that you're not in contempt of that order?
I'm confident that we are, if the order remains in place, we will put service back as quickly as we can, as safely as we can. We've been straightforward about the timing of how we can put service back. We know we can confidently put service back on the 14th, make it safe, make it reliable. That's the date that we're going to shoot for.
Scott, are you worried that the Republicans in the Senate that hear you say we only have 2 years more of this, they'll think they have 2 years to get anything done and put this off until 2027?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's necessarily just a Republican thing. I think that I certainly don't want the urgency of this need to flounder, but I do want to give more time. I suppose it's not that I want to, but we are, in essence, giving more time to have a more thorough conversation around what exactly everybody needs to see from transit to understand the value that we bring to the region. So, yes, I am concerned that maybe we get forgotten. I hope that's not the case. We haven't thus far. Everybody has talked about us. We've had very strong support from our local delegations, certainly from Governor Shapiro. So I would hope that that's not the case.
Can I ask you a follow-up?
Mhm.
I'm sure you looked up to Jeff Knuppel back in the day. One thing he did, and I didn't know if you had a chance to do it the last, did you ride on any buses to see what the school kids were going to yourself personally?
I did not ride on the buses the last week, but I have been out on the system every day. I have seen what's been going on, and yeah, it's I've been on crowded trains, and now I get recognized, so everybody knows where I am, and yeah, it's been a tough experience. And talking to riders, they're not shy about telling me about their experiences.
Yeah, were you getting the same guff we heard from the bus drivers that they were getting yelled at?
From the train crews, I mean, I get it from the cashiers. The cashiers who interact with the public more often than a train operator. Yes, they get the same issues. And I'm glad you brought that up, Steve, because the employee experience is just as important to us. Our employees have had now to navigate this uncertainty for 9 months as we talk this through, and 2 years in essence. And they're concerned, as our riders are, that their future is unstable. So we're hopeful now that by enacting a plan like this, we can give both the customer stability, but also give our workforce some stability as well.
Did Governor Shapiro or Leader Bradford ask you to make the request to PennDOT?
No, we have to make this request. So we certainly they knew it was coming, but we have to make this request.
I might have missed this, I'm sorry if I did. If PennDOT were to say no, does service still go back in 14?
Let's cross that bridge when we come to it. We need to do what we're doing here in order to be able to plug such an enormous budget deficit.
After the hearing yesterday, George Bucchetto said, it's not that complicated. You have the buses in a parking lot, fill them with gas, and put a driver in them.
Right.
Can you explain again, why does it take 2 weeks to restore the bus runs?
Well, I watch a lot of Law and Order, but I won't profess to be a lawyer. But I would say that, look, a bus system as complex as ours, and we're not talking about just buses now. We're talking about subways and trolleys, and the buses. This is a when people see what we do each day, it looks easy because the buses, 1,400 buses roll out every morning, and 14 buses come home every evening. Same with our trains and all the operators. But remember, there's a lot of parts that go in there. So there's a lot of systems. For example, the safety systems that are built into our train network. The signal system has to know which train is coming and where is it going in order for it to properly route the route for that train to advance. Same thing happens on the bus network. All those destination signs that get programmed, they're reading schedules and they're reading GPS to know where that bus is and where it's going to be able to put that sign up there. The same thing with the bus operators and the train crews themselves. They all picked 2 schedules for this picking. They picked an A and a B, A being a full service schedule and a B being a partial service schedule, which is what they're operating today. That schedule for them could be vastly different. They could be on night work today, and then the A schedule they could shift to day work. Those individuals, all 5,000 of those unionized employees, have to account for child care, maybe they have elder care, maybe they have other commitments with their families, that to simply say that Thursday night at 5 o'clock, tomorrow morning you're going to start on your new schedule, that's impossible for people to be able to pivot so quickly. So it's not just the people, it's all the machinery and the back-end systems. It's a very complicated process that we ordinarily take weeks, not 10 days. We take 6 weeks to implement a service schedule change. A service schedule change, mind you, that was created by the service planning team over months. So there's a lot that goes into it, and while I certainly appreciate that we make it look easy, it's not.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.